guys! If you were just watching me over on Facebook, I was live doing a stone trunk show, sharing about some of the fun things we've got right now available in 8-inch gemstone strands. So that's over with. If you're seeing this video live or anytime after here on YouTube, then you can go check out our videos on Facebook and find our stone trunk show that'll be live and or available for a limited time through the first week of October. You're able to shop for that through a Google Doc. Really easy to use, I promise. I always work out all the kinks as much as I can ahead of time for you guys. So I've got a picture here of what we're working on tonight, which is this fun and easy macrame technique with our tile beads. And if you're wondering why these colors are so out of my normal comfort zone, it's because we are celebrating the Bright Walls Festival in Jackson, Michigan this week with special sets of beads that we put together in their festival logo colors to commemorate the last version of the Bright Walls Festival. This is the last year, the finale. And we have 2 murals going up on our building, as well as another, I think, over 30 murals all over our city, downtown area. So we're really, really excited to have that here. We're super lucky to be a part of it. And we wanted to do some special things with you to celebrate. So we will have these kits and sets of beads available in store for the festival. The 8th through the 11th of September. This is 2022 for anyone that sees this video far from now in the future. And then once we have gotten through the festival days, we will list anything else that's still available for sale on the website. But you can get these same tile beads in all sorts of different colors at beadstoliveby.com right now. You can shop immediately. You do not have to wait for the kits. And I want to say that I've listed this waxed linen previously. I happen to be using a black color of that tonight. But if you don't see that listing when you search waxed linen on the website, then you can just reach out to me because I will be listing it. We've got a lot of the black available now. So I have got 3 yards of this that will be in the kits, and I suggest that you get yourself 3 yards of it if you are ordering it as well. That might be the way that it ends up being available, is by like the 3-yard section. So we'll see about that. But you are going to need to cut that into 2 separate pieces, and you do not want it to be the same length. So if you are working with a 3-yard section to start, you want to cut 2 feet off of that 3 yards. So if I am thinking correctly, 3 yards is 9 feet. So you want a 2-foot section and a 7-foot section if you've got more than 3 yards to start. So this is a 4-ply waxed linen. And then we've got our ever popular and favorite ball and socket clasp that we're working with. And we are also working with, I gotta get some of my tile beads out of here, 2-hole tile beads in a 6mm chuck glass. And again, the colors that we're using today are commemorative of our Bright Walls Festival, but there are lots of beautiful combinations that you could make with the over 100, probably hundreds of colors we have listed on our website. So don't be shy, go out there and get you some tile beads and have fun. But I am working with the 3 colors that would come in your kit. I'm going to chop off my 2-foot section, and what you are going to do with those pieces of cord, you are going to find the middle on both. So you have 1 7-foot roughly piece, and then roughly 1 2-foot piece. And you want to center both of those cords and then put the middle together. So when I say that, you are going to see the ends will not all match up. Does that make sense? Like you'll have 2 short ends that'll match up and 2 long ends that'll match up. That is what you're trying to accomplish here. And then on that ball and socket clasp, I think it's a little easier to get your 4 ends will fit through this better. So this is your the ball end of the ball and socket, and that's the larger hole. For whatever reason, who knows why they chose to do that. So I'm gonna try something a little different here. I folded these over and I'm gonna see if they'll both fit folded through my I don't think that they're gonna go through. This one's kind of squirrely for some reason. This is my shorter piece, of course, too. There we go. I think that this other one will fit through with it because it was all working a little bit better. So while we're live, it's a holiday weekend. How's everybody doing? Are you guys getting some relaxation in? Having some fun? I hope so. It's been a weird couple of weeks around here. Lots of stress in between some slightly more fun events. So, okay. So I've got both of those ends through my clasp. Hi again, Jenny. So good to see you all over the internet. I'm going to take that loop that I've created just now and pull all of my cords through it. Now hang on to your clasp the whole time, because that way you will not pull the knot around your clasp. Your goal is to, that was like, I think it's a lark's head where you pull the cords through the loop, but it just creates a really nice clean start. Now the other thing you're gonna want for this is some washi tape. The washi tape, you can use any width or pattern, that part doesn't matter. This one's kind of decorative, but you could also use painter's tape. That's probably a little bit easier. It's gonna hold a little bit better, but the goal with the painter's tape or the washi tape is to, and I'm gonna clasp my clasp so I don't lose the other end. Pro tip. And that just keeps you, the tape just keeps you from having to, you can use, like if you have a fancy macrame board or something, or people suggest using it's a clip, like an office clip, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. Anybody? Bueller? But the problem with the clips is that you still have to somehow adhere them to your, like your desk or someplace. So that part is not as easy. And I am also taking a few of my squares, my tiles off of my cord just ahead of time. Now, with those 4 cords, remember you've got 2 short and 2 long, and you are going to separate those, and you want the long on the sides and the short in the middle. So the 2, and I'm gonna have to back my camera up for you so you can see a little bit more of what I'm doing too, maybe, we'll see. Probably should have started this up here further. There we go, okay. Didn't think that one through real well there. So I just like to get a nice tight tap down on that clasp. So as I was saying, you want those long cords on the outside and the short cords on the inside. It might not sit that way naturally right at first, but it will eventually even out. So with the square knots and macrame, this is the cord that started on the right-hand side. This is the long piece. I'm going to fold it over the top of the two shorter middle pieces. And then I need to bring this long piece on the left-hand side. It's going over the top of, this is on top of this. And then you bring your shorter cords on over. The shorter cords are coming up. This longer piece from the left-hand side is going under, and you actually want to bring it through this loop. So when everything's all said and done, you've got things on the top and the bottom of your middle cords, and then they're interlocking. The longer cords are interlocking in these loops. And then you do need to kind of play with these middle cords and like hold them steady while you can see when you pull these longer cords on the edge, it kind of messes with those center cords. But that, now remember that first step was we brought the right-hand side over first. And I'm right-handed, so I tend to always start with my right hand. But now you're going to, with your left hand side, that long piece of cord on the left-hand side is going to come over the top of those middle cords. And then your right hand longer piece is going to come, it's on top of this cord. So this long piece is on top of the cord there, but then you are going to take that right hand long cord and go underneath of the short cords, and then you have to bring it up through this loop here. And you can kind of see how I'm playing with, hi Susie. Yes, Jenny, I agree. A clipboard works well, but my problem is I still have to like somehow adhere it or weight it so that it's like against something. Like I need this to sit steady in front of me, and the clipboard is something that kind of still, when I'm messing with these cords and pulling on things, it tends to like move anything that's mobile, you know, around on me. So I might just be really odd like that, but that is the only thing you do. Like that is repeated throughout this whole bracelet. So if you need refreshers, go back to that last section and replay and pause. But I'm going to do a couple of fast ones, and I'm working with my right hand again because you flip back and forth each time with your right or left hand. And I think I want to make 4 knots before I add any of my tiles. So you can see it looks really different when I don't purposely like drag out my movements, but I'm doing the exact same thing that I just repeated in those first few steps. And part of the reason I'm using 7 feet of knotting cord, the longer cords, is because I do want to make the size, I want this bracelet to fit my husband, and his wrists are bigger than mine. So I'm also testing out, I'm hoping that that is the amount that I can put into the kits. So that's my goal, is to make sure that it's sizable for whatever wrist size you're working with. And we're at the point, I did 4 sides, a knot on each, right, left, right, left. Yeah, Susie, I agree. It's it can be, if I've got my clasp or my end of my work stabilized and like in one place where it's not moving, it makes the rest of the work a lot more even and uniform. So these are my short cords again in the center. I'm going to separate that long one out there. And I am going to insert, and what you want to do is give your like end of your short cord a twist and make it real straight. And then as you insert it into your tile, it's going to be a situation where you just want to let it, you want to let the cord guide itself. So don't give it a hard push. Of course, I'm like Butterfingers today. Don't give it a hard push, but let it just like self-guide in there, which I'm having a really hard time because I'm trying to look at it off camera. There we go. Okay. Once you get it in there, like I am just like the most gentle from further away on that bead and the cord. And then once you've got one cord in there, you want to go the same direction through the bead. So when I say the same direction, don't go this way with the second cord. You want to go this way. There we go. That one was a lot easier. So these cords do fit through these tile beads, and like you might run into like one tile bead with a slightly smaller hole, but overall you should be able to get them over this cord, but you have to have some patience and not force it too much. Okay. That's your fair warning there. All right. One side of this tile is definitely tighter than the other one. I'm definitely noticing that. Okay. So now we're pulling and we're turning everything. We want that tile bead to sit on those middle cords, just like as close. Now I'm gonna have to pull it out of the tape so I can show you guys. You see how like it could like pull away from that knotted area, but your preference is really to like pull that up as close as you can get. Now the next part is very much up for interpretation. You can do like just another 4 knots and you can, just make that be the space between your tiles, or you can do more and have your tiles spaced out more. Like that part is really very much up to you. So I am trying to figure out, I flipped my work over because I liked the other side of that knot better. So this is like my top, but I think that, I thought that meant I would like reverse how I added how I did my cords on the outside, but we'll see. So you're repeating that knotting technique. So I did that over under business with my longer cords. And then when you get them close to the tile, you're gonna wanna just really play with, and this is another good reason to have this part stabilized. And you want to just slowly pull these outside cords up. You don't want them to like fall under and over the tile too much. They're going to twist a little bit, but you just want them to surround the tile. Susie, these will be available as kits in the store first and then online once we get through the festival. They're special just for the Bright Walls Festival. So we want to make sure that people attending that are going to get an opportunity to, but there's very similar tile colors online still, and lots of other options, like so many good colors. So here are a couple of knots, and I'll refresh you guys on the knotting technique here now that I've got my tile kind of set in place. So you want to, it's every other time. You want to make sure and keep track of if you're starting with your right hand or your left hand, and then, like end at the one that makes sense so that you can pick it back up if you're not doing this in one sitting. But right now my My next start will be, I've got my 2 shorter cords in the center, I've got my long cord on the outside, and we're going to take the long right-hand cord over the 2 middle short cords, and then you want to take that long left-hand cord and it's going to go on top of, so this is the long left-hand cord is on top over here, and then it goes underneath the 2 middle cords and up through this loop. And you just have to do it real slow. And that's why I'm trying to like show you guys a couple times like a slower methodical display of that so that you can more easily follow. No problem, Susie. And then same repeat, but we're switching to the left-hand bead or the left-hand cord. So take that long piece, go over the 2 middle shorter, and then you grab the right-hand piece and go on top of this, but then you go underneath of these, and then you come up through the loop. And when I grab that, I hold on to all these other things. So otherwise you're gonna, that waxy linen will just grab at your other cords. And it's good because I think it's easier to work with than like a silky cord for the knotting, but then, you know, that means that it's sticky. So I'm going to get this as close as I can to the camera so you can see the way all that looks. And front and back, it's like opposite, but otherwise looks, you know, pretty much the same. Now that section's a little short. I'll probably put some more knots in for this one because I want to like space out my tiles a little bit more, but that is all there is to it. And I'm going to show you guys really quick how to do the ends so that you are fully prepared to finish your bracelet. So I am really, lazy might not be the right word, but when I'm measuring my bracelets, like I work on them for a while and then I hold them up to my wrist and I see if I can fit it around my wrist, and that's how I size things. So yeah, Johnny, I think the black especially is going to be a really nice option for like more of a masculine color scheme if you're looking for that idea. And I just looked down because my cord touched my foot because it's so long, and I was concerned it was something black and fuzzy crawling around on my floor. We've not had a lot of spiders in our house since we moved, but I did just spot a fairly substantial one out in this room recently, and now I'm paranoid. So anybody that knows me knows that I am not a fan of the spiders. So I just realized I taped down my clasp end, and I really need an end of my clasp to show you guys what I'm doing. So you started with the ball, so you want to grab the circle side of your clasp. So I've got that there. Magic of having extra clasps on hand. These are my 2 pieces of short cord. So this is like, we're just demoing this tiny piece of this project, but you want to make sure your bracelet is to length, including the space taken up by your clasp before you do this part. So once your bracelet is the full length you need for your wrist size, you're going to take this clasp and go through with both of the short strands. Yes, Jenny. No, I didn't take it as a, I totally knew what you meant. I think, I don't tend to think of things as being masculine and feminine in a real strong, you have to stick to that sense, but like my husband and I would both wear these colors, but not everybody feels that way. And I think that it does lean a little bit more masculine in the traditional sense. So once you are to length and you've got that clasp on there, I am taking those short strands and I'm folding them back towards the start of the bracelet. And then you are going to very awkwardly, I have to say, continue to make those same knots that we've been making. So you're gonna take that right hand long piece of cord, you're gonna fold it over, and like using just the clasp to hold it in place maybe, you're gonna grab your left hand cord. So this is my left hand cord. I'm bringing it over the top of all that. And then I'm gonna have to like manage to bring that left hand cord underneath of everything else and up through this loop. And that's a really hard thing to show on camera. So hopefully it's coming across. So it's the same technique you've been using, but you're working over all of these cords in the middle, which is like your two center cords running that way, and then you fold them back over. You're treating those all still the same way. So then when you complete that knot, you're gonna bring it down and it's gonna seal off all of those cords. And I'm gonna bring it back up to the camera so you can see. So these are my center cords. They're now folded up, and it is all caught by this knotting with my long pieces. And you're going to do that for like a half an inch or something. Like you want to make sure you give yourself some time at the end. So when I say like size the bracelet, you really kind of want to stop short just by like a quarter of an inch or something, because you want some space where this knotting will be holding both of those center cords folded over again, and that is going to secure everything. So once you get down to the end, you trim everything, and let's see, there we go. You trim the long pieces, and then back here is your short cords, and you're going to trim those, and you'll just like dot some super glue on there if you're really concerned about it, but this waxed linen should hold pretty well. And that's all there is to it. That's how you finish off that bracelet. Tiniest bracelet ever. But I won't continue to knot this because it's not really indicative of the whole bracelet since we don't have it finished yet. And that's a whole separate piece of our clasp. I guess I can take this piece off now, and that's like how it'd be. It's like a little doll bracelet. Look at that. You can make a cute little macrame ring. Well, thanks so much for joining me, guys. Remember, this is the tutorial for your bright walls or other chosen colors of tiles in the macrame bracelet. And we already have a video showing the stitched one, which we're gonna have kits for also this week. And then this gemstone one was like a last minute decision last night that I just felt like I needed some extra things to stack to coordinate with the festival this week. So thank you, Susie and Jenny, for showing up live last minute. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who joins us during the festival or purchases kits and beads. We really, really appreciate your support, and we look forward to coming to you live. Our next video will be, I believe, Monday next week. It's going to be a long 2 weeks for Cassandra because we've got our exciting customer appreciation week with our friends at Softflex. So we'll share more of that via our email newsletter and our social media. So stay tuned for that. Have a great night. Enjoy your projects, and I will see you guys soon, okay? Bye.